Now, I have to tell you that I think it's time that we stop trying to do schools better and we start trying to do them differently. Now, my kids, Tess and Tucker and Mark and your students and your kids are learning in a way today that is just very, very different. And I think it's amazing every time I think about it that they can actually take the phones out of their pockets, or they will take the phones out of their pockets. And with a couple of clicks, they will have access basically to 2 billion potential teachers and the sum of human knowledge in their pockets. And I got to tell you, if we look at this world as it is, we know in our heart of hearts this is not the same as it ever was. This is really different. And we have to think about what that means in terms of preparing kids in a much, much different way. Here is the hard truth that we have to accept. Schools, in the form that they were constructed, are no longer relevant to our kids' lives in terms of places to get information and knowledge. Information and knowledge are everywhere. And what that means is we have to begin to re-envision schools for a different purpose right now. And I think that purpose is actually more meaningful, more important, and more difficult in a lot of ways, because schools for our kids right now have to be places of deep inquiry where they are solving real world problems, because they have a lot of problems that they're going to need to solve. Where classrooms and teachers are learning basically how to collaborate with global peers to create beautiful, important work that they can share with the world, that can teach others. Where we can help them find their passions and support those passions so they can become the lifelong learners in these contexts that we all want them to be. And I have to tell you, none of that is the stuff of test prep. All of that is the stuff of life prep. And all of that requires great teachers, teachers who are too good to be reading PowerPoints or index cards or having earbuds put in their ears telling them how to teach. And I think it begs this question, to be honest with you, and that is right now, we have to ask, do we really want our kids to be prepared for their futures by a system that has not fundamentally changed in 125 years? And I got to tell you, my answer is no. I think at this moment, we have to take back this conversation about education. We have to take it back from the businessmen and the politicians who are trying to wrest it from us. And we have to scream, literally scream to whoever will listen, that test prep and learning are two very different things, and that one is being lost at the expense of the other right now. And that is just not acceptable for our kids. We each have a role in this, every one of us. We have to see the world differently right now. We have to see it for the connections and the networks that are possible. And each of us has to be willing, I think, at this moment to re-examine our own learning in these contexts. Because here's the good news, right? Those easy connections that our kids have to the people and the resources that they need to learn about whatever it is they're passionate to learn, we have those too. Those are our connections as well if we want to take advantage of them. And I think that's an amazing opportunity, and I think we have to seize that moment right now. One of my favorite quotes right now is from Eric Hoffer, who says, "In times of change, learners inherit the earth, while the learned find themselves beautifully equipped to deal with a world that no longer exists. This system was built for a world that no longer exists." We have to stop talking about better. We have to start talking about different. And for our kids' sake and for our sake, we have to do that now. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.